Hello everybody and welcome back to another mod showcase. Whoa, he said the thing, he said the line, he said the line. Whoa! Today we're looking at the Prehistoric Fauna mod, which adds, oh, get ready for it, you guessed it, dinosaurs. Now let's actually get into the stuff because there's a lot. Alright, so, first thing we have here are 3 new types of stone. This being sandstone, even though there's sandstone in Minecraft, this is a different type of sandstone, siltstone, and chalk. Now you can make many variants of these 3 new stones that you'll find in the overworld, and some of them include smooth versions, polished versions, and bricked versions. You get the polish through crafting 4 of the normal stones together, and you get the bricks of crafting the 4 polished together. And then there's also chiseled versions, because each of these stones kind of represents a different time period. For example, sandstone, that's Triassic stuff, so it has a little Triassic creature on there. Siltstone, that's Jurassic stuff, so it has like a long-necked dinosaur. I like calling them long-necked dinosaurs ever since I was a kid. Pretty cool name, if you ask me. And then for Cretaceous, you got the chiseled dinosaur and the chalk. But the point of all these stones is that you can find fossils. And if you actually mine these fossil blocks, which these are what they are, then you get each of these different items. A Triassic fossil, a Jurassic fossil, and a Cretaceous fossil. One for each of the time periods. Pretty cool. But then what do you do with those fossils? Well, before we get to that, let me explain what you need first before you start dealing with those fossils. You need a paleontology table. This paleontology table is crafted with leather, one of the fossils, any kind, a piece of iron, and 4 wood. What do you do with the paleontology table, though? Well, let's say I have a stack of each of these different fossils. I can stick the fossils in here and it will start processing into different types of fossils, essentially. However, this can be hoppered, and I can stick all these things in the double chests. So let me put these in here and I'll show you some of the results. But we're gonna move on to a little structure that generates in the world, which is a geologist camp. And this geologist camp is like a little hut that you find in the overworld, and it comes with a paleontology table and some different loot in the chest. Now, the geologist, who's technically a guy who studies rocks, this is the geologist, and you can trade different stones with him, and eventually you'll get better trades the more you unlock things with him. He looks really cool. I really love how he looks. And I'm gonna say it right now so I can get it over with, but basically, there's a chance of these paleontology tables processing your fossils into some petrified wood. This petrified wood looks really cool, and you can polish the petrified wood as well. But what's even better is that this petrified wood can also be found naturally within the world. Here we are, this is a petrified forest. Pretty cool, look at all the petrified stumps. Alright, so it seems like each of these have processed the fossils that I stuck in there. Look at all this. These are different fossils that you'll get from the species that you find in their respective time periods. So yeah, I showed, as I said before, you get some of the petrified wood, some of the respective stone that you get from those certain times, and then some ammonite fossils, which are pretty cool. I'll get to those in a second. Here's more examples. This is Jurassic stuff, and then this is Cretaceous stuff. These are some of the fossils that you'll get. For example, you'll get different sized ammonite fossils. There's small, medium, large, and then giant, which you'll get the 4 separate pieces to the giant ammonite that you have to physically build. So it's kind of like a collection. This entire mod is essentially like a collection mod, so if you like collecting stuff, like, this is great. You can make your own museums. Now, you can take some of the ammonites and craft them into plastered ammonite blocks. Now, these fossils right here are all those separate pieces that you saw that I got from the fossils over here. Fossils and fossils, hard to distinguish them, I know. But essentially, you could use these different parts to craft these different skeletons. Before I get to the skeletons themselves, there are different skulls that you get for these different creatures. So you have to first collect the skulls as well as the different parts that are required in order to craft them into the full skeleton. Which the full skeleton should come packaged like this in this little box. I can place these skulls and these skeletons down of each of these different creatures, prehistoric fauna as they say. But how do I like change the positions of them? How do I like move them? Well, you do that all with the geological hammer. The geological hammer is crafted with 4 iron and a piece of leather. You can take the geological hammer and turn stone bricks, and sandstone into ground down versions of themselves. So I just made cracked stone bricks, cobblestone, and sand. Now I can't do anything else with the sand, but I can further crack this, which then these crack into gravel. So it's a way to make more gravel. Alright, now let me show you how you actually use the geological hammer on the fossils. You want to hold shift and then right click once. That should make the skeleton slash skull pushable. Then you can like move it around physically. If you hold shift and right click again, now if you move around a little bit, it should start following where you're at. So you can position the skull to exactly where you want it to be. So let's say I want it to face forward, and I have it in the spot that I want. And now I shift and right click for the final time, and now it's solid, so it's all good. That's essentially how it works with the giant skeletons as well. But if you normally right click on the giant skeletons, you can change their pose. So for example, I want a lying down T-Rex, or maybe I want the T-Rex kind of turned this way or that way, or just doing like the Jurassic Park pose, you know. I'm pretty sure that for each of these skeletons you need at least the respective skull and then 2 of the other fossils that belong to that skeleton in order to craft the entire skeleton. Now over here we have some wall fossils. You craft these sort of like paintings with sticks and any type of fossil. It'll grant you 1 wall fossil, and you can make any of these lovely wall fossils. Now that's pretty much it. I'm just kidding. Don't leave yet. There's more. There's a lot more. You can actually visit the dinosaurs. As you can see behind me, there are some portals, which we'll get to in a moment. But let's say I want to make those portals. What do? Well, you can find 2 different structures in the world. One of those structures is a portal hub, which is made of this unique green looking stone, and there's monkey. But the main structure that you want to find is this, the Time Temple. Now before we enter the Time Temple, let me show you what the blocks are, like what the Time Temple's made of. Now be warned, the Time Temple has time traps, little traps that just spike up. And then there's the main stone that's made of, hennostone. You can use hennostone to craft hennostone bricks, as well as hennostone dark bricks, or dark hennostone bricks. You just do that similar to dark prismarine bricks. You can also make a pillared hennostone, a chiseled hennostone, and a carved hennostone. Now, remember all these crafting recipes, because they're kind of not consistent, I would say. Let me go inside the temple for once. Ow! Yeah, you gotta watch out for those. Those kind of hurt. Kind of a spoopy temple, I will say. Oh my god, that's some good loot. What?! You find a lot of hennostone in these chests, as well as obviously some good loot, but a lot of clocks as well, which I'll explain the reason for that in a moment. Let us go upstairs, because up here we have Hennos. Oh, he's actually, oh shit. Wait, Hennos is a big monkey statue man that you have to fight because he is the ruler of the Time Temple. Don't know, he's the guardian of the Time Temple, something like that. Now, I'm going to fight Hennos because there's a bit of a thing that he drops when he dies. Right now, it's a little bit easy to kill Henos because his special attack that he gets at half health is not really working right now. So, alright, Henos, let us fight. Ow. Damn it, Henos. Oh yeah, and he heals his health too. There we go. I killed him, and he dropped some Henna Stone, as well as this new item called a Time Gem. Pretty cool. I'll show you what you do with the Time Gem in a moment. There's a secret skin that you can get with Henos. You just simply name a name tag Brass Monkey, capital B, capital M. And he turns into a Brass Monkey. Now, one thing I should mention is that I'm wearing diamond armor right now because I'm in 1.15.2. They'll update to 1.16 in the future, but they'll also be adding a lot more stuff in the future, so look out for that. Now, you can also summon your own Henos. However, you need your own Henna Stone, which, let me grab this. 3 Henna Stone, an emerald block in the middle, and a large ammonite fossil on top. This spawns a very cursed version of Henos with a ammonite head instead of monkey head. I honestly like the monkey head better than this. Now, you know, the only way to really obtain Henos Stone are from these structures, the portal hub and the time temple. And the reason why you actually need Henna Stone is to create this new block called the time machine frame, which you use to make those portals that you go to the past. Now, you need about 12 time portal frames in total. And how you craft the time portal frames, this is why the clocks are important, is with 8 Henna Stone and a clock in the middle. And that's how you make one frame. But what do you use to light the portal? Well, you take your time gem that you killed Henos with, as well as the respective period that you want to go to using that specific fossil, and you create these little time totems. Now, each of these are the different time periods. So this is the totem of the Triassic, the totem of the Jurassic, and the totem of the Cretaceous. And you basically use each of these totems to light your portal. You have to, if you don't right-click it on the portal, it'll just create a block, and you kind of wasted your totem by that point. So if I wanted to go to the Triassic, boom! I light the portal. There's the portal to Triassic. Alright, now that I'm back here, I'm going to use these portals because this is where I set up my showcases. And we're going to first go to the Triassic, respectively, because that's what came before. Hello and welcome to the Ishigla blah 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 blah. I don't remember the name of this place. The Ishigwalastia. I think that's what it's pronounced. But basically, this is the forest that you spawn in the Triassic period. Now, keep in mind that this current portal shape is the shape of a nether portal. That is currently a bug. They'll fix that in the patch release. I also have a beacon here because there's also another bug that where if you press F3, you will crash. All right, welcome to the Triassic. These guys are gonna be loud, so keep that in mind. This is the guy that sounds like he's fucking shitting himself. Now, this new dirt that you find around the Triassic period is called loam. And there is also a packed variant of loam. And the different plants that you find around the Triassic period are the Dichroidium, the Johnstonia, the Cytophyllum, the Micheloa, and the Cladophlebus. And some of the different wood that you find here, some of the different tree species, I must say. Here's one of them, Hydiphyllum. It's a nice gray variant of wood. And I'm not gonna do the boat meme because there are way too many boats, I will say. And over here, we have Proto-Juniper oxylon, which is a nice blue variant of wood. This guy is the Hydiphyllum tree, and then if I can find it, yeah, the big trees right here are the Proto-Juniper oxylons. All right, let's move on to the actual dinosaurs, the moment that you've been waiting for. I'm gonna have a hard time pronouncing these, I swear to God. Xeretodon, I believe that is the name of this guy. And essentially, if you kill him, he drops his hide, which you can take 2 of them and craft a piece of leather. Let's say I want to have these guys in the overworld. I don't want to breed them. Well, you use the Cladophlebbus to breed this guy, and he'll lay eggs. Now, dinosaur eggs work very similar to turtle eggs in Minecraft, meaning that you can place them anywhere that you want, and they won't hatch. Except if you place the eggs on any, like, soil, any natural dirt or sand, or maybe loam, and they show little green particles, that means that that's a block that they can hatch on. This guy is a Chromogosaurus, which he's a nice little bird boy. You use Johnstonia to breed him, and if you kill him, he has meat of himself. A lot of these guys are very similar in that they drop a meat version of themselves, and they also lay eggs. Also, I'm gonna just go over the breeding item, their name, and sort of simplify it. This is the Herrerasaurus, actually a name that I remember. You use this guy's meat, the shitter guy, the fucking Sir Shartsalot, to breed Herrerasaurus. Mr. Sir Shartsalot is named Hyperodapodon, and you use the Scytophyllum to breed him. This guy is actually an herbivore, surprisingly, even though he's fucking huge. He is the Silosuchus, and you use Dicroidium to breed him. Now this guy is actually hostile, so keep that in mind. This guy right here is the Saurosuchus, and he eats this guy's meat because this guy might hunt this guy might hunt this guy occasionally, or Herrerasaurus might hunt that little fucker. Now moving on, this is a nice boyo. His name is I can't say his name. Ishigolastia, Mr. Iguanamans. You use Cladophlebbus to breed him. Pretty cool. But he's a special boy, in fact, because if I spawn a new guy, you can put a saddle on him. And you craft a Cladophlebbus on a stick, which is just the Cladophlebbus crafted with a fishing pole. You can ride this guy around. He's pretty slow, you can't make him faster. But he's a very nice boyo indeed. I love him. Now you may be wondering, what is this? What are these? These are ancient paintings. Now you can't craft these, and they'll add more ancient paintings later on, don't worry. You can't craft these, but you can find them in these little huts that generate around the different time periods. Now, I'll show those huts after I'm done showcasing most of the stuff. Alright, let's go to the Jurassic. Welcome to the Jurassic! It's a very deserty area. This is the Morrison, and there are various plants that you can find here as well. For example, there's this weird pine cone palm tree looking guy. He is called a Zamites tree. And you break the cone part of this to get the sapling. This is the wood, pretty cool. And then this wood is Protopysoxylon, which are these trees. Now the small little plants that you find around here occasionally are dead Cycadioids, Coniopterus, horsetail. This is pretty easy. There's short and tall horsetail. And then Osmundicalis. This tree is the Phytophyllum. There's the Phytophyllum wood, which you can kind of place to make weird things. It is very weird as to how this wood works. And then there's the Phytophyllum base, which then you can replant the base part and it'll continue growing. Now, you know how I mentioned those like ancient huts that you find around the different time periods? Well, you can craft new things using different items that you find in that hut as well. Like, you not only find the ancient paintings, but you can also find these papers called ancient journal pages. Now, you use these ancient journal pages plus some leather to craft an ancient journal. This is currently blank, so how do I fill this journal with information to learn more about the different dinosaurs that I'm finding around the different time periods? Well, you use one ancient journal and some slabs to craft a paleoscribe. You have to take an ancient journal as well as some ancient journal pages, And if you stick that in here with your ancient journal pages, you can choose which dinosaur you would like to learn more about. Oh, if you hold shift, you can see which dinosaurs you have information about. Now, this is completely filled to the brim with information about the different dinosaurs. All right, this is the most exciting part of this mod. One of the most exciting. Look at this big boy. He is such a big fucking boy. He's massive. This is a Camarasaurus. He's an herbivore. He eats the phytophylum fronds, which you get from the phytophylum. I'm assuming the meat that he drops is probably really good, so you want to probably cook that. Moving on, we have the Ilenodon, which is like a little iguana guy. Honestly, little lizard boy. You kill him, he drops his meat, and you breed him with horsetail. This guy is a Hesperornithoids, I think I said that correctly, and he eats the Ilenodons. He's like a little roadrunner, honestly. This guy is a Dryosaurus. He eats the Coniopterus. Oh, look at this boy. We have our first cool carnivore. I mean, the Saurosuchus was pretty cool, but this is a Ceratosaurus, though Stegosaurus's tail's in the way. Ceratosaurus, you might remember this guy from like Jurassic Park or something. He's pretty cool. You use Dryosaurus meat to breed him. And then one of everybody's favorites, Stegosaurus. Based dinosaur, I must say. He actually eats the Zymetes cones. And then he gets hunted down occasionally by Allosaurus. I'm like right up close to this boy. This guy's pretty neutral. Most of these guys, in terms of the predators, are fairly neutral. But if I were to attack him, he would go after me and start killing me. And he doesn't really have an attack animation, which is something I really want to see in the future, which hopefully they'll add, because these guys actually have teeth. Alright, and then finally we're going to the Cretaceous period. Honestly, the Cretaceous period is probably one of my favorite biomes. This is Hell Creek. It reminds me so much of when I went to go see the coastal redwoods in Northern California. Like, this is so beautiful. I love it. And what's actually funny, too, is that there is a species of redwood in this ancient forest. It is called Metasequoia. This Metasequoia is pretty big. It's fucking huge. Those guys are the Metasequoias. Now, these guys are also pretty huge, but this is the Araucaria. The Araucaria, actually, you might have noticed it in the other time periods. That's because Araucaria literally generates in the other time periods. This time period, though, is where they actually get huge, though. And then we have these nicer looking smaller guys called Liriodendrites, which offers a nice white wood pellet, too. Now, you might have noticed a different weird looking grass. That's not grass, that's mossy dirt. In fact, you can actually break the mossy dirt and the mossy carpets that you find around and get moss balls, which you can use to craft moss blocks. Now, what are these small plants that we have here? Well, we have Osmunda, as well as tall Osmunda, club moss, and Marchantia. And for once, there's actually life in the water. This life is algae carpet and Crassostria oysters. Now, Crassostria oysters can actually be made into Crassostria oyster stew. Now, over here we have some of our final items that I'm going to go over. First, we have new banner patterns. You craft this one, which is the Henos one, with Henostone. You craft this one, which is the Stegosaurus banner pattern, aka the Stagomizer, with the Stegosaurus's Thagomizer. You craft the Triceratops skull banner pattern with the Triceratops skull, an Ammonite, an oyster, and a Dakota Raptor claw. We'll get to the Dakota Raptor in a moment. And then finally, over here, we have new armor. We have an Ankylosaur helmet and an Ankylosaur chestplate. I look like I'm about to ram someone. You craft the helmet with 2 Triceratops horns and 3 Ankylosaur osteoderms. And then you craft the chest plate with 8 Ankylosaur osteoderm. I forgot to mention, if you kill the Stegosaurus in the Morrison, they drop their Thagomizer, which, honestly, these items are the equivalent to the fossils. Alright, we have the dinosaurs in the Cretaceous. I love these guys. Right here we have Didelphodon, which is one of the first mammals, actually, in this time period. He drops his hide, which 4 of them together make one piece of leather, so it's very similar to rabbit hide. And you breed him with oysters, though he doesn't lay any eggs because he's a mammal, obviously. Here we go. This is Dakota Raptor. What's up, my guy? He drops his claw if you kill him. You use, I believe, that guy's meat to breed him. Now, Dakota Raptor actually has a secret name tag that you can name him. If you name him a man, all in caps, he turns into a featherless chicken. There you go. Just keep your clothes back on, I swear. Now this guy is like a little turtle. His name is Basilames, and you use horsetail to feed him. And then here we have everybody's favorite dinosaur, the Tyrannosaurus Rex. If you were to kill him, he drops his tooth as well as his own meat, and you use Triceratops meat to breed him. I'm pretty sure this guy's aggressive, so be warned about him. Look at this boy. This is Ankylosaur, or Ankylosaurus, my bad. You use club moss to breed him, and he drops his club, which might have a use in the future, as well as his osteoderms. Oh! So yeah, you want to stay away from some of these guys. Like, you don't want to get too close. Here we go. Another favorite dinosaur of mine, I would probably say, is Triceratops, as is everybody's. If you were to kill him, he drops his horns, his meat, and you breed him currently with club moss. That is a bug, though. It will be osmunda, which are the little orange plants. And then finally, we have this little small boy. His name is Thessallosaurus. You use the Marchantia to breed him, and he drops his meat, of course. Also, one other thing that I should mention is that you might have noticed over here, there was a little bit of world corruption. That was because I hit F3 and I crashed. So really, do not press F3 in this release 2.0. Wait for 2.1 to come out, then you should be okay, hopefully. Alright, now I can show you the huts, because I don't have to worry about being lost at all. These huts are a little bit dilapidated in nature. They might have an egg, some different woods built into them, and loot, which, of course, as I told you before, comes with the ancient journal pages and the ancient paintings. Oh, and if you somehow get lost in the past and you accidentally break your portal, you can always go and try to find the portal hubs, which also generate in the past. Look at this. This is beautiful. There's several variations of the different biomes. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for today's showcase. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm really excited for what this mod has in the future. If you haven't subscribed already, feel free to. You can always unsubscribe later. Alright, have a good day. I'll see you in the next one.